Shauna. What's good, guys? Today I am not in the best mood. So I had a talk with the surgeon. Surgeon told me, yo, okay, we want to get rid of your left boob because that's where the cancer is. But we're starting to see a little something in the right boob. We're not suspicious of it being malignant, but at the same time, we want to check with an MRI. So go get yourself an MRI for your right breast, Sure. Before I left the office, she was like, but we need your CD medical records, on your CD, all the imaging and all that stuff. We need that. Let us keep that. So fine, keep it. But even though they told me that I should keep this with me, you're saying you need it, fine, keep it. So then I schedule my mammogram, and then I go into the mammogram. They're like, yo, where your CD at? And I'm like, my surgeon guy is like, yo, you need it. If you want to do anything with us, you need it. So give it to us. I'm like, I don't have it. Well, then you can't do your mammogram. I'm like, are you serious? And then what sucks is like the day before, I got a call to get scheduled for a meeting about the surgery planning made. So it's just like, I need my mammogram in order to get the surgery, because they like, we don't want to go in and just chop off one if we actually need to chop off both, because then that's like two separate surgeries when we could have done it all in one. You feel me? So now I'm like, can we reschedule? She was like, yeah, we could reschedule it, but we just schedule it for tomorrow. I'm like, okay, fine. At least it's soon. It's not like, oh, we're booked up for the next month, which I have when I had to get my ultrasound. That was happening where everyone was saying, we're booked up for the next month and a half. Luckily for the mammogram, they were like, oh, we have an open for tomorrow. I'm like, cool, because my surgery planning is like the day after tomorrow. So fine. Okay, what I was saying before, a call came in is that as I'm driving over here, they're like, yeah, so we went ahead and sent it to your Solus. And I'm like, you sent it to Solus? Yeah, I actually ran it over there myself. And I'm like, you ran it over there? It's literally, these two places aren't on the other side. Well, I can't even see the other side of town. The location I went to is in like downtown Houston area, Houston, Texas, while the actual location where the CD was is in Webster, Texas, a completely different like city, county, and all of that. So of course it sucks have to drive out of one county to the next. And so I'm just like I ran it over, and I'm like, how did you do that so fast? I'm on the route to you guys and I still haven't made it. She's like, well, what do you mean? I ran it to the Webster location. I'm like, I was at the Houston location. What you mean you ran to the Webster location? It doesn't matter. I'm just coming to get it. She's like, well, I don't have it anymore. I'm like, what do you mean you don't have it anymore? Where is it? And I'm like, can I at least come pick up the hard copy? She's like, no, I sent it to Webster to get them to take all the imaging off. And I'm like, what are you talking about? This is crazy. Now I got to come to a different location I've never been to. She's like, well, it's really right next door. I'm like, okay, fine. It's right next door. So I'm sitting in this parking lot, turning the camera to tell you all this. When then she called and was like, okay, so here's the deal. I don't know how you got scheduled in the Houston location. The reason why I scheduled in the Houston location is because when I called, I told them I need the soonest appointment as possible because I have a surgery planning. They gave me the soonest one, Houston location, because the one in Webster, which is right next to it, they said they won't be available until like October 15th, which is like almost 3 weeks out, 2-3 weeks out, right? So I'm like, that's too far. I need it soon. Just now she calls me and is like, okay, so I don't know how you got scheduled at the Fanning one, but turns out they have availability today at 10:30. It's right next door. I'm like, I'm sitting outside. She's like, well, you see that 400 building? I'm like, yeah, I see that 400 building. She like, well, go in there at 10:30 and get your mammogram done. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. Because it's like, dang, this. It's not that it's stressing me out, but it's just like, at first it seemed like, okay, everything is like falling into place. Like, it's not, it's already a big deal to have to deal with something like this. So then when things aren't going timely, because this is a time sensitive matter, it's just like, but luckily I will be able to get it done in the next 30 minutes. I get to go in there. They said, we got all your medical records, we got everything, just come in 10:30, we got you. She said the radiologist has already looked through all your information, he got you. And I'm like, thank you. So yeah, I was throwing a lot at you, but yeah, I'll come back to you. Can you see the building? But I'll come back to you maybe after I come out of there. Maybe not. I've never had a mammogram. I know it's like basically a boob sandwich where you stick your boob into like a metal plate and they literally squeeze your boob until it pops. Well, not till it pops, but you know. And then shoots like small amounts of radiation, that kind of thing. But I either come back after that, or I will come back during surgery planning. Like them actually, I don't know how this is gonna go. You know how they do in plastic surgery, they like draw the lines, or it could just be like they just say, okay, this is what we're gonna come in and do, this is what we're gonna remove, that kind of situation. I don't know. But I don't know if I mentioned this or not. Well, the mass in the boob is kind of like big to the point where they're like, if we remove it, your boob would just be like a deflated balloon. So what we gonna do is just remove the whole boob entirely, which is called a mastectomy, which I'm like, cool, just take it. I don't care. I ain't using it, you know. But it's not like it's an arm or a hand, you know. It's not like it's essential to the way of life, right? So I'm just like, take it. And if you need to take the other one, take the other one. So that's what I'm trying to find out now. The whole mammogram thing, they said they saw, like I said, they saw a small mass in the breast. And I thought it was just being all voluptuous just because it wanted to be. But no, they said there's a small one over there, but they are not suspicious of it being like actually cancerous. They just want to make sure and check it out. But they want to do the mammogram. I mean, yeah, the mammogram for it. But if they can't quite figure it out, then they're going to do a MRI Biospy, which I do not want to ever go through that again, because that was so, it's not painful or anything, but it's so irritating to like lay in one position for 45 minutes to an hour. Don't move, one position. If you move, they got to start all over. You know, if you the type that toss and turn on bed because you like to get comfortable, then no, this is not fun. So yeah, that is an update, and I will be back out.